Welcome to Bittersweet Theory. Today's video is about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Alright, before we even get into this video, there's something I've got to let you all know. That is, this scene right here is how I was introduced to the Final Fantasy franchise. When I was younger, my brother looked at me and said, "You might like Final Fantasy," then proceeded to show me this part of the movie. Then I had so many questions like, who was that? What happened to him? Are those bullet holes? Is he dead? Then as I kept watching, I shifted my mood to asking him who that blonde was. Thus started my obsession with moody anime blondes. Given that this scene is how I was introduced to Final Fantasy franchise, I think it's only proper that we do a theory on Zack's death. Alright, so the trailers for the new game are vague as to what happens with Zack, but we can still take a good guess of what's going on. Okay, so we're going to split this video into two different theories that could be true. One where Zack is alive and one where Zack is dead. First, we'll start with Zack being alive. In the new Final Fantasy VII, we see that the original events for the end of Crisis Core have changed. We see this due to the Dark Wisp flying around. Now in this scene, I want to point out that Zack and the other soldiers do not see them. Them being there, though, means that this event and time has changed. In this version of the story, Zack is able to take down the Shinra army, and we see an explosion of light around Midgar. So what we can assume is that when we see these sparkles of light, an event in time has changed. Then we see at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake that Zack is helping Cloud get to Midgar. So from the events of Final Fantasy VII, we could conclude that Zack is alive, mostly because he doesn't have the same injuries that he had at the end of the original Crisis Core timeline. But the question is, if the events have changed, then how did Cloud end up with the Buster Sword? This leads me to the other part of the theory of Zack being dead. This is where the trailers for the new game start to come into effect. Let's start with the extra scene from the Yuffie DLC. Here, we see Zack practicing what he is going to say to Aerith for being gone so long. Here he is not covered in blood and dirt from the fight with the Shinra army. He is also carrying the Buster Sword at this point. Also, if you take a closer look at the church, inside and out, this is where things start to not add up. The rows of seats actually change. Also, the cross on the back is missing all of the wood, and the curtains that hang on each side of the cross are also not ripped or damaged. Another point I want to make out is that when Zack opens the doors to the church, the people inside do not react to him. This leads me to believe that Zack could be a spirit, or this scene in the DLC happened during the events of Crisis Core and not after. Now we get to the trailer for the new game. We see now that Zack is no longer carrying the sword, and he is talking to other characters but not coming in contact with them. As evidence from him talking with Marlene when we know that she was left behind in Midgar. Also, how would Marlene know that Sephiroth is going to kill Aerith? Now, with all of this conflicting information, it is possible that Zack being alive is happening in a different timeline, and Sephiroth is mixing the two timelines together. Well, why would he do that? Well, the answer is kind of simple. He needs Cloud as his vessel. In the last battle with Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII Remake, he asked Cloud to lend him his strength. Or a better way of putting it, he's asking Cloud to become his vessel. Also, I would like to point out that Sephiroth has the power to easily kill Cloud but chooses not to. Now, I believe that the one thing stopping Sephiroth from taking over Cloud is Zack's memories, or maybe Zack's spirit at the very least. I'm not quite sure how Cloud has Zack's memories, but it is clear that Cloud is only remembering events that happened to Zack. Take this scene from Crisis Core as an example. When Sephiroth is burning the village to the ground, Zack was the one who saw it, not Cloud. So how would Cloud have that memory other than somehow Zack is a part of Cloud? The most likely thing going on here is that Zack's spirit is attached to Cloud's. In some way. This way, Zack is able to protect Cloud from Sephiroth, from taking over his mind. Either way, Square Enix is going through a lot to make us believe that somehow Zack is still alive. So with all that being said, this could just be a simulation. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Are there more games that I need to look into to maybe help me with this theory? Please let me know. Also, I just wanted to say that we are now at 40 subscribers, and I can't put into words like how much that means to me. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't, please subscribe and like the video. Thank you for watching, and until next time, it's been bittersweet.